News Channel 3 special, The President's Promise, is brought to you commercial-free by Kalamazoo Community College. The President's here to make history and make good on his promise. A promise to the kids of Kalamazoo Central to deliver the first presidential commencement address to a high school that is truly a giant. Now, it's time for News Channel 3 special coverage of the President's Promise.
Hello, West Michigan. I'm Judy Markey.
And I'm Jeff Varner. Thanks for joining us for this special live coverage tonight of Kalamazoo Central High School's historic commencement. Right now, proud parents are packed into WMU's University Arena. They're waiting to see their students' efforts recognized by the President of the United States.
Yeah, they lined up for hours ahead of time, enough to get through security checkpoints and find their seats. That ceremony is going to start any time now. We thought it would be 7 o'clock, but we're told a little bit earlier now.
Yeah, President Obama flew into Grand Rapids just after 4 o'clock this afternoon, probably like 4:05.
Right.
A little bit later than we thought he would. Then he hit the ground running, walked right out of Air Force One, hopped onto Marine One, then headed to Kalamazoo.
And just before 5 o'clock, his fleet of Marine choppers landed at Angel Field on the Kalamazoo College campus. He hopped into a motorcade and was whisked away down Michigan Avenue to the Radisson, where we are told he met with some supporters at a parapolitical reception. Only spent about a half hour there and then headed to Western Michigan University, where he paid a surprise visit to Kalamazoo Central graduates. The president congratulating the students on their accomplishments and encouraging them to continue working hard, make their dreams come true. And then he walked around and greeted every single student, we're told, and shook their hand. What an experience for them.
Yeah, we also learned that he will be shaking the hands of the students as they walk across the stage tonight. So what exciting, an exciting night for everybody involved here. You're looking live now at University Arena. We're not quite sure who you're looking at. I believe these are educators, some of the teachers, some of the students coming in. There you go.
The students you had an inside
yes, I have
source
one of the
there telling us
was
that
texting me
they were headed out. So there they are right now, the graduates heading into University Arena. It's been a long day for them so far, and they're so excited. Some of them have already shook the hand of the president. Yeah,
absolutely. And there are several elected officials in attendance tonight. We're told Governor Jennifer Granholm is in the house. She has taken her seat. Senator Carl Levin is there. Senator Debbie Stabenow, Representative Fred Upton, and of course Kalamazoo Mayor Bobby Hopewell. What a lot of events we have going on tonight.
Right, they're going to try to keep this on time as much as possible, hoping to keep it to 90 minutes. And we're probably going to hear the Kalamazoo Central High School band. Mr. Dan Stout is the conductor, and he was preparing to play Hail to the Chief, but was told that only the President's Marine Band can play Hail to the Chief. So they are going to play a couple of different songs, probably Pomp and Circumstance, and then there'll be a welcome from Mr. Von Washington, the principal at Kalamazoo Central High School, introducing President Obama, and the superintendent, Dr. Michael Rice.
Yeah, we have 300 Kalamazoo Central High School seniors who are making their way into the arena now. They started lining them up probably about 30 minutes ago to enter. They are now making their approach, if you will. Some information here about these kids here at Kalamazoo Central. 51% of the population at K Central is African American, 39% white, 7% Hispanic, 2% Asian American, 1% Native American. And President Obama talked about the diversity of the school and the effort they put through to win this Race to the Top community challenge, commencement challenge that is, along with the Kalamazoo Promise.
The Kalamazoo Promise was a big reason that this school was chosen. And also the graduation rate at 80% at Kalamazoo Central, very impressive. What the president is telling us, very impressive, and one of the reasons that he chose this school. We have some speakers tonight who are very impressive as well. Cindy Lee, the valedictorian. We're going to be hearing from her, born in Arizona, a family from South Korea, and they moved back after her father received a graduate degree, moved to Kalamazoo in 2006, where her father did some research at Western. And then the parents left. She's living here with her brother, who is at Western, and she's going to continue her education as well. Wants to be a surgeon. We're going to hear it from her tonight.
Yeah, we'll hear from quite a few people, but right now we have a couple of reporters on the field, on the floor there in University Arena. I know our David Bailey is standing by in the crow's nest. Let's see if we can get him live. David, are you with us?
Yeah, hi, Jeff. You know, I tell you, just watching this is just an amazing sight. You know, you watch a graduation like this, and you watch the procession in, and you watch the parents and the reactions from the crowd. I mean, it's just a very emotional thing, of course, with pomp and circumstance playing in the background. But, you know, you were watching the procession going in, and I tell you what, the cell phone cameras are really going off right now. This is a special moment for a lot of these kids walking in here, obviously with the magnitude of the speaker involved in this, but you have the parents who are watching this and really enjoying it, and you can see the smiles and the tears and the kids watching and waving. It's just a real special moment in here. I want to go over, as we're watching the procession, some of the things that you're going to hear in just the next few minutes from Mr. Obama. He's obviously going to congratulate the class. He's already met some of these students behind the scenes. The presidential seal is there on the podium, and so he is in the house waiting to come out. And as we mentioned, Jeff mentioned just a few minutes ago, got an awful lot of dignitaries here. This is a very unique event and a very big event here in the state of Michigan. So you've got the congressional congregation here. You've also got local leaders, state lawmakers. Just about everybody is here. This is the place to be. Mr. Obama is going to say in his speech that America actually has a lot to learn from what's going on here at the Kalamazoo Public School District. He's got an awful lot of advice for students. In fact, he mentions in his speech here in just about 30 minutes time, he's going to tell these students, hey, you're getting a lot of advice from parents and people in the community right now. I'm going to give you a little bit more. It's going to be an interesting moment. He's going to talk about actually his life as he was growing up, and the fact that his father left his family at the age of 2, and some of the struggles that he went through as he was growing up. He talks about how he was angry, rebellious, that he was a bit of a partier as well as he was going through high school and through the college ranks as well. But he says that ultimately, if you're focused, you can make success over time. And he talks about how people here, students, have to be accountable and that you can't play the blame game. He mentions Washington, D.C. He mentions Congress, about how the blame game right now is happening an awful lot. He's also going to talk at length about the Kalamazoo Promise and how well that program has gone. He's got an awful lot of good things to say about that. Should be a very interesting speech. But just to put the personal impact to this as we watch it from up above here, you talk about how emotional it is for a lot of these parents, and you talk about how emotional it is for these kids to be walking in on such a large stage with everybody watching, and really the country watching this as it happens. So we're going to be following it. Back to you, Jeff and Judy.
All right, David, thank you very much. Very difficult to hear you there after over all of the cheering by the parents. You know they're excited. So excited there.
Well, can you imagine? I mean, we know what our high school graduation, how exciting it was.
Yes.
But to have the President of the United States at your graduation just can't, it's hard to believe that he's even there.
Unbelievable. And the effort these kids went through to get him here. I mean, they had to put together the essays, the 4 essays, answer all of those questions, do that videotape that we've seen so much of that is just so well done. We just want to throw to those kids there. Also, this is not just about Kalamazoo Central. I want to take a moment here to congratulate all of the high school seniors in Kalamazoo, Portage, all across West Michigan. This is K-Central kids on the stage here, but this is really as much about you as it is
Right, and there are also lots of kids from the other schools watching, and some inside there as well, watching this whole thing from the big screens, the 3 locations where this is playing out. Carolyn Wiley is also there at University Arena. And Carolyn, can you hear us? All that noise?
I'm here.
Little noisy there, Carolyn.
I am here, and it is so exciting to see the smiling faces of these graduates as they walk into the arena here. You know, a lot of them worked so hard for this moment, 12 years that they really worked hard to get here. Some of them weren't even sure if they were going to graduate. Their parents, I've talked to them out in the parking lot out here. They said, you know, they tried and they tried, and when they heard the president was coming, one of the moms said he really just stepped it up and he said, Mom, I'm going to graduate, and today he is going to walk across that stage here. You know, these kids are proud of this. Their parents are so proud to see this, and the fact that the president is here today, the fact that they have chosen Kalamazoo Central, a public school. They said, you know, this is your average public school, but they're showing that they can do above average things. They're very excited about this here. They worked hard on the video. They worked hard on the essays in order to get the president to come here. So they're just so excited to be here and waiting for the president. That impromptu visit from the president, I talked to somebody a bit earlier and that had been in the room at the time they said that they jumped so high when they saw the president walk into that room, and it was so exciting. I mean, these kids have been sitting there. They've been told to sit there for a while, a couple hours, expecting to just be sitting there, and all of a sudden the president walks in and says, hey, let's have a casual conversation. Now we're at the formal part, the formal pomp and circumstance as they walk into the room, and the president will take the stage shortly.
You know, Carolyn, you talked to Simon Bomey, who was so instrumental in getting that videotape together and the whole project. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, you know, Simon is one of the leaders of this class, and the school principal said to him when this whole Race to the Top commencement challenge came up, he pulled Simon in and said, Simon, do you think we can do this? I want you to help lead this project. And he took it up. He took it under his wing, and he really was one of the folks that, one of the students that helped spearhead all of this. He was integral in the essays. He wrote a part of the essay. He also helped produce those videos. But, you know, one of the things about this that I kept hearing again and again about the videos was that it wasn't just one student. It wasn't just one leader that did that video. It was a real collaborative effort. And, you know, at times there were, you know, a lot of student leaders there, and they were kind of back and forth about how to do things. But in the end, they said, nobody wants to derail this project. We want to get it right, and we want to show ourselves off to the president, and that's just what they did.
Teamwork. Teamwork is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
And a good lesson for them to learn as well through that whole project.
Yeah. And that video, Carolyn, they only had, what, 10 hours to turn that thing around, 10 hours to shoot it, 10 hours to edit it. Talk about the video.
Yeah, it was really, I mean, they came up with these ideas, and then they just took that 10 hours. There was a producer from Viacom that was assigned to watch over them and make sure that everything was going smoothly. But they had these 10 hours to shoot, and if you remember the video, they were all over the place, all over the school in that video. They actually shot 2 different versions and tried to meld them together in the end. And that idea about the slam poem, that poem that you hear the student reciting throughout, they said that's what really pulled it together. They feel like that's what sold it. And just the fact that this video was a student video, it was rich in the culture of Kalamazoo Central. The fact that they are working hard to make sure their students go to college. And you could tell when you compared it to the other videos that this had more of a student feel. This was a real video. It didn't appear too commercially produced. It was all about the students.
The students there, the graduates at Kalamazoo Central, waiting for our 44th president to speak to them. They're excited, as you can imagine. The president has saying that coming from a middle-class family and working hard on education is the way to go to get ahead, and he's brought those beliefs into the presidency and into the Race to the Top competition. And these students have taken it to heart. They've worked very hard, all of them, to get to this place to have the president speak. It's the first time in this competition that the president is going to be speaking to a high school class. And all of Kalamazoo has come together as a community. When we were interviewing some of his advisors earlier, they were telling us that the reason that Kalamazoo Central was chosen is because of a community effort.
Absolutely. And part of that community effort is the Kalamazoo Promise. Huge, huge thing there that pushed this over the edge, I think, for the students. Anonymous donors paying college tuition. 4 years of high school gets you 4 years at a state school. These kids have to make 12 hours a semester once they get there, make a 2.0. The program started back in 2005. The first graduating class underneath the Promise happened in 2006. It's certainly an effort not only to help get these kids to graduate and to keep them in school, but to also get them degrees at a 4-year school, and most importantly, to attract new business. I mean, can you imagine all the families in the world who looking for a place to live, need help, you know, getting their kids into college? Kalamazoo is a great place to come for that. We're waiting now for all 300 so of these kids to get into place before this actual ceremony begins.
Last year, $4 billion was set aside to improve our schools, and the thing that they wanted out of this whole project was to encourage states to adopt, you know, more challenging standards.
And I think we
Looks like we're beginning to see some action
Perhaps
here.
they're in place. We're going to first hear tonight from Principal Mr. Vaughn Washington, Jr. He will open up tonight's ceremony and introduce the President of the United States. We see him there on the stage now.
He spearheaded this whole project as well. He's really worked hard. I believe he's going to introduce the President and Superintendent Dr. Michael Rice.
Followed by the Star Spangled Banner, played by the Kalamazoo Central High School Band there. And I believe we have Principal Rice, Washington, taking the podium there. It's hard to see from that angle. And here we go. Countdown.